Everything that exists in the visible world was first born in the invisible. Why is it that so many people start something with enthusiasm, but stop halfway through? Projects are abandoned every day. Plans that never leave the paper. Dreams shelved as if they were impossible. Most people believe they just need a clear idea, or a burst of motivation. But the truth is something else. Much more subtle and much deeper than you might imagine. Between thinking and materializing, there is a sacred space that you must respect unconditionally. And that space is called doing. But doing, my dear seeker, is not immediate. It doesn't respond to the ego's rush or the pull of anxiety. Thought belongs to the fourth dimension and is instantaneous, but it only gives shape to your dreams and ideas. It's like the blueprint an architect makes for a house. It only exists on paper, just like your dream only exists in the content of your thoughts. Doing is a construction that demands rhythm, consistency, and, above all, time. And this is where many get lost. Because they confuse vision with achievement. Desire with realization. Impulse with discipline. Ah, my dear, I learned, through mistakes and repetition, that no great work manifests without maturation. In the Hermetic tradition, we say, as above, so below. As within, so without. If you dream of changing your life, of bringing an idea into reality, of fulfilling a deep desire, you need to understand that everything begins on the mental plane, but only manifests in the physical plane through disciplined action and respected time. Our reality is shaped by the process of harmonic resonance, meaning it's the vibrational affinity that sets the pace of our days. The universe doesn't respond only to what you want. It responds to what you become. And if you don't become someone capable of sustaining what you desire, time itself will delay you, not as punishment, but as a teacher saying, be patient, wait a little longer, because you're not ready yet. My name is Noah and this is the Hermes Code channel, where I share Hermetic teachings with clarity and simplicity. Today, I want to guide you through this invisible path, to show you why so many goals fail, and how you can become a true channel for manifestation. But take it slow. The most powerful revelation will come at the end. After that, you may change the way you see failure, and transform anxiety into patience. The intention here is to help you recognize when time is actually shaping you. So stay with me until the end. Because those who cross this bridge with awareness discover that the gold they were searching for outside was actually being formed within. Every creation begins with a thought. A spark, a glimpse of something that doesn't exist yet, but is already pulsing inside you. That's the seed. And here lies the first trap for the modern seeker, confusing the seed with the fruit. You think about changing your life, starting a project, transforming a habit. And the moment that thought is born, you feel a surge of enthusiasm, as if everything is already within reach. But that feeling is temporary and illusory. The idea is noble, yes, but it accomplishes nothing on its own. It doesn't act. It doesn't build. It only points the way. In both alchemy and Hermeticism, we learn that the power of the seed lies in what it can become, but only if it's planted, nurtured, and cultivated with patience. And this mindset involves many elements. It's the soil, meaning the environment you create. It's the water, the discipline that nourishes. It's the light, the purpose that guides. And it's time, the silent master that transforms potential into reality. Without these, the idea dies. And what was once an inner calling, or a purpose if you prefer, turns into outer frustration. How many times have you abandoned something simply because you didn't see quick results? How many seeds have you let rot because you refused to accept the time needed for maturation? By now, you've probably realized that the problem isn't your dream. The lack of preparation to sustain it in the real world. That's where the problem lies. The mental world is the beginning, but the physical only responds to movement. And movement demands continuous effort. It demands that you work on your goal even when you're not motivated. It demands that you give your best even when no one is watching, even when it seems like nothing is happening. That is the real magic. It's the invisible work that creates visible results. A seed, left on its own, does nothing. But a seed cared for with consistency becomes a tree. And the tree, over time, bears fruit. The same is true for your ideas. They only bear fruit when you plant them in the soil of action. An idea, no matter how grand, doesn't create reality by itself. It needs movement, gesture, and repetition. And this is the realm of doing. How many people do you know who are passionate about esoteric knowledge, full of theories, devour books, and plan every step of the alchemical path in detail? Often they say they want to reach the great work, but refuse to get their hands dirty with repetitive labor. In alchemical language, we could say these people ignore the furnace, disregard the silence of the laboratory. They want the gold, without going through the process. And this is exactly where people like that stagnate. Not because they lack intelligence, but because they don't accept that transformation requires continuous practice. Doing is the bridge between the inner world and the outer world. It is through action that the invisible begins to take shape. And if you believe that it takes grand gestures, you're deeply mistaken. What you really need throughout the entire process is consistent action. The true alchemist understands that doing is almost always imperceptible. It's repeating. It's revising. It's returning and doing it as many times as necessary, even when everything feels the same. In alchemy, this principle has a name: solve et coagula, which means dissolve and recombine. This is how the crude is refined until the pure emerges. And that demands presence and discipline. Do you want to write a book? Record videos? Change your routine? Transform your body, your business, or your mind? Don't wait for the universe to align before you act. The universe only responds to those already in motion. And if you're here, watching this video, it's a sign you've already started moving. And more. It's not about doing just anything in any way. It's about acting with intention, focus, and intelligent repetition. That's how matter responds. Because doing isn't just a sequence of tasks. It's a way of consecrating your will in the physical world. When the hermetist or the alchemist understands this, everything changes. So if I could leave you with just one message today, I'd say, lower your head, enter the laboratory, and get to work day after day. And the gold, little by little, will begin to manifest, as surely as 2 + 2 is 4. The great lesson here is, don't wait to feel ready. Start doing. And the process will prepare you. If thought is the seed, and doing is the constant planting, time is the soil where everything unfolds. But time, contrary to what many believe, is not an obstacle, nor is it an enemy. It is the most rigorous and the most fair teacher that exists. In the modern world, everything is instant. We want quick answers, instant results, effortless transformation. But Hermeticism and alchemy do not operate at that pace. Life's laws will demand patience, persistence, and the understanding of one of the most difficult Hermetic principles to accept. Everything has its time to mature. And I feel obligated to tell you this. I've grown tired of seeing people deceived, who sincerely believe that everything comes easily, without working in the field of causes so the corresponding effects can appear. You don't harvest on the same day you plant. You don't see fruit in the first few weeks. And often, in the first few months, nothing happens. It's in that void that many give up. They abandon the project. They doubt themselves. They believe they've failed. But in truth, they were simply in the time of preparation, and jumped ship too early. Time doesn't just deliver. It molds. It tests. It refines. If you want something grand, you must become someone worthy of sustaining it. And that takes time. Along the way, variables will appear. Unexpected challenges, detours, loss, silence, discouragement. But all of that is part of the refining process. Because time doesn't just give you what you want. It gives you what you're prepared to hold. In alchemy, the philosopher's stone only appears at the end of the process. Only the alchemist who endured the heat, who didn't open the furnace too soon, and who didn't interrupt the cycle, is worthy of that stone. And you? Have you been respecting the timing of your great work? Or have you been demanding fruit from yourself that's still forming? Remember, time doesn't deny. Time prepares. You're not standing still. Everything is in constant motion, in alignment with the principle of vibration. And everything has its rhythm. So you, right now, are being shaped. And if you keep going, if you do what needs to be done, even with no immediate signs, one day you'll look back and realize that every single day, every mistake, every moment of waiting, was part of your transmutation. If you've planted and nurtured the soil, let go. Don't keep digging up the seed to check if it has sprouted. The Hermetic laws never fail. Release the outcome, because time, contrary to what many believe, is the most demanding and the most fair master that exists. In a world obsessed with instant answers and effortless results, those who understand the Hermetic principles are already ahead. In the next videos, I'll go deeper with you into each of these principles. We'll explore different angles so everything becomes crystal clear. And you'll finally be able to create your reality with self-awareness. No formulas, no hacks, and most importantly, without being deceived by so-called prosperity gurus. Somewhere on this screen, you'll see 2 videos that expand on what we just talked about. Watch them, and stay on this path. Thank you, truly, for staying with me until the end. And so I know who's truly committed to the work of expanding consciousness. Leave a comment below. I will turn the lead of my consciousness into gold. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you in our next meeting.